Right now, Jujutsu Kaisen is currently on a generational run that I don't think I've seen from a particular IP in anime in a very long time. Everything from the characters to the writing to the overall world building is actually phenomenal. I will say, I have read the manga, so I'm gonna hold off on talking on the story until all that's done. But today I want to focus on the animation because, oh my god, has JJK's animation throughout the 3 seasons that it has come out been massively phenomenal. And when I mean it's been good, I don't just mean it has been just incrementally, slowly good throughout the 3 seasons. I mean, we have seen leaps and bounds of actual quality from just above standard animation to season 1 to pinnacle of awesome shonen battle animation for season 2 to borderline avant-garde style of things in season 3. You could quite literally probably put some of the best scenes in all 3 of those seasons, put them together, and each one low-key looks like a different anime. It's actually phenomenal the growth that Mappa was able to do with Jujutsu Kaisen over the years. But as much as I love season 3 and its animation style, the overall fluidity of it all, the good camera angles, the good movie quality that's been bringing, the awesome lighting and color choices to almost every scene that it picks, it's honestly been great, but I do have to ask the question, is it sustainable? Now, the reason why I wanted to choose this as the topic of discussion is because at the time of the recording, there have been a lot of people on the internet that I have seen bring up the conversation comparing ENVtuber Season 4 animation to Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 animation. And the fact that Jujutsu Kaisen pays far less for its animation yet has better overall quality to the point where you can damn near call it a movie, to ENVtuber having pretty okay to sometimes stiff animations. And I feel like this conversation doesn't come from the anime slash Jujutsu Kaisen side of the internet, but more comes from the ENVtuber slash Western cartoon side of the internet. As there might not be very many people who understand why Jujutsu Kaisen can have such fluid, great, and awesome animation at such little price compared to ENVtuber. And unfortunately, it is an answer that most anime fans know all too well. It is actually a very well-known fact that in the anime industry, animators and such are not treated very nicely. They're very underpaid and overworked for the quality that they put out. And it's actually very reflective of the overall work and ethic culture that exists in Japan today. Funny enough, Mappa was actually one of these studios that got really reamed for it. Back all the way when season 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen first released, a lot of people actually came out about the horrible working conditions there. Talking about how the crunch time was just abysmal, how much little that they got paid, people were pulling off multiple day shifts just to get things finished. It was really not great. Now, as a positive to this, Mappa actually did come out addressing the allegation, saying that it was going to try to implement a more positive and healthy life work for all its animators. And it even got to the point that the Japanese government actually investigated them for poor work practices. Now, I mainly bring this up as one of my 2 points of why I asked if the JJK animation is unsustainable. Because as we look at the overall animation is peak, but knowing what happens behind the scenes is, well, not great. It's part of the reason why they're able to afford it at such a low price. And it's a bit worrying knowing that these animators could be overworked, and while they're bringing out probably the best animation they have for season 3, one can only worry what's happening behind the scenes. Now, of course, I don't want to be super speculatory, of course. Right now, there haven't been any reports of any bad doings, but at the same time, while people online have been saying that the practices have gotten better, I haven't really seen anything of Mappa saying so. So right now it's kind of a we don't really know, and all of this is just conjecture. One can only really hope that the animators are having a good time and are getting paid a lot more. And that the reason they were able to bring out such good quality for season 3 is because of the good practices and not for any of the overdoing crunch time underpaying them doing all the way back in season 2. Now, the second thing I talk about when it comes to JJK's animation being unsustainable is all about the expectation. JJK Season 1, JJK 0, JJK Season 2, and JJK Season 3 have all ramped up its animation in significant amounts like I mentioned previously. So one would go ahead and assume that maybe a lot of fans nowadays might be expecting it to get better and better as it goes. And for many people, this might not even be a thought that crosses their mind, but in an era of anime where animation is king and the moment you drop in quality, even if the quality previous was good, and you get forgotten or lambasted for that drop, it can get pretty rough. Now, if I'm being somewhat realistic, if JJK Season 4 was actually dropping down to Season 2 quality, I don't think people would have too much of an issue. I do think there would be comments of many people questioning why the quality dropped and what reasons they could be for that, but Season 2 animation was still above average by a wide margin when it comes to the standards of the whole anime community. But again, there would still be topics, and I still think it would be the big conversation coming out of that if it were to drop. Now, do I actually think that Season 4 of Jujutus Kaisen would actually fall back to Season 2 quality? Probably not. At best, it would probably stay at Season 3 whereas it is, and that's what we're going to get until we actually get movies. But then that brings into the question if the movie quality is going to be the same. After all, most of the time when you have a movie anime compared to the TV anime, the movie anime has way more budget to go into very aggressive animation that is so bombastically good it blows everything the TV could do out of the water. Which does make you question that if the JJK Season 3 animation is already movie level quality, then what would movie level quality of a modern JJK movie look like now? Even someone like me who has been watching anime for over 2 decades, I don't even think I could truly fathom what that would look like. But I do know one thing, if they were able to pull it off, it'd rock my cock off. Now, do I actually think that there is some fear that Jujutus Kaisen and MAPPA will fall in quality when it comes to Season 4 and beyond? No, not really. A lot of things bad would have to happen for that to actually be the outcome for the future. If anything, I do think the realistic outcome is that JJK kind of stays at the animation that we get for Season 3, with episodes like the Maki episode and Sendai Colony being the pinnacle of what the big episodes would be. So I would say expect episodes like the Hikari episode or the Sukuna versus his girlfriend episode to be like the super big animated ones, but other than that, it'd probably stay normal. So then if I say that, why make this video? Because it's interesting to talk about. JJK is the only anime in a big long time that I've seen constantly go super high. Other animes either start strong and are able to consistency, or start pretty not great but are able to at least gradually make their animation better. I can't really think of an anime that has gradually and rapidly increased its animation in the same way like JJK. So it's interesting to think that they might just stay at Season 3 level, which I don't think anybody would be mad, but there is a chance, a pattern, that they might try to up themselves again. We have history of MAPPA and Jujutus Kaisen going ahead and making very intense increases to their animation. So Season 4, for all we know, could be the craziest animation we've seen. And in an era where animation is king and animation is a big part of why anybody watches anime in the first place, it's a nice little topic to explore.
I'm like so gay.